you. Mr. Marchant.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What I'd like to focus on is the expense that merchants no longer have to incur because of the debit card. In my life, I have worked in stores where a great amount of the time that the cashier and the management spent was in compiling the deposit, taking the check, checking the ID, taping the hot checks to the door as you walk out, and all of the expense that went into just making this simple transaction take place. Now, it seems to me that the debit cards have made a lot of the positions that existed in maybe your store, Mr. Princess. Maybe you don't have to have a full-time person that does that now. Now you can, this debit card enables you to have safer transactions, quicker transactions, and would you admit that there's some value to that versus the way probably when you started business?
Thank you for that question. What I could say to that is that I don't need that person, but I also had to lay off one other person because of these fees. And let me explain something. Congressman, as a businessman, you need to be able to understand what you're paying for. When it comes to interchange fees, I don't know what I'm paying for and what these fees are. What is the rate of taking card A with Y rewards on it? I don't know. I'm at the mercy, like I said earlier, at that statement that comes in at the end of the day. So yes, there might be a convenience, but I'm not willing to give anybody a blank check and say, fill out the portion for that convenience. I want to know what I'm paying for that convenience and how it's being derived at the end of the day.
Okay, so your point is that you don't know what you're paying for. You don't know how to.
And why it's been increasing so rapidly without having any additional services.
Might I add something?
The other thing that I'm noticing as I'm going now to the store is that almost every transaction that I try to make, the retailer is trying to push me towards the transaction that the retailer would prefer that I make. The retailer is absolutely not wanting a check. Cash, I'm pretty sure, is okay, but retailers no longer wanting a check. The retailer really no longer wants a credit card because I'm assuming a credit card is still 2 to 3%. Is that a standard back charge for a credit card, Mr. Seltzer?
Mr. Marchant, for us, credit and debit are right on top of one another. I think on average, our credit rates are about 2.2%.
2.2.
Our debit rates are about 2.1% of the transactions. So they're right on top of one another. And, I'd speak to your earlier question. We absolutely, believe there's value in cards. We are willing to pay a competitive price. And if there were a competitive market for this product, we wouldn't be here. There is no competition within the card space for debit cards.
Well, I think I may get to that if I have enough time to get to my question. The retailer, though, now is, even though there's no difference, I guess you say, in between credit and debit, they're pushing me towards a debit transaction because I now have to say that I don't, debit or credit. I mean, that is a standard question now, so there must be some advantage to one transaction over the other.
Yeah, can I say a little bit about the facts? Because the one thing I agree with Mr. Cantor about is that facts are important, and there have been a lot of assertions about facts. And Chairman Capito, I am happy to provide you with excruciating detail about Visa's interchange rates. They're transparent, they're on the website, they're public. So let's talk a little bit about the facts. You asked whether the rates are going up because usage is going up or because the percentage rates are going up. And this is very important. It's because people are using debit cards more, merchants are accepting them more. That's a good thing because they're less expensive than cash and they're less expensive than checks. So merchants are achieving savings. The rates, debit card rates on average 10 years ago were about 1.4%. Today, they're about 1.4%. Some rates have gone up, some rates have gone down. The average effective debit card rate has remained stable over a 10-year period. Any assertion to the contrary, we need to look at the facts. Credit card rates on average are higher, but the rates that merchants pay for use of debit cards and credit cards in the United States is far lower than what they pay in most other countries. So it's important to get the facts correct, and we'd be happy to provide you with all of these facts for the record.
Am I over?
Mr. Watt.